Okay, so I'm here. It's your girl. It's Najee. I officially had my daughter. I'm gonna let you know how all that went, and I'm gonna put in a clip to let you know how everything went down, and then I'm gonna explain everything later.
On the Exeter. But the traffic on this way be bad and all that. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Cry for no reason.
This is a nice room.
I'm glad we had that other room, bro, because my fucking back was hurting.
So first thing, this video is gonna be about how I ended up in the hospital. So like a week prior to me getting induced, I was 38 weeks. And at the start of my weeks, it started getting rough and rough and rough. Like I was tired of being pregnant, whatever. So my mom told me about this eggplant thing that they have here in Georgia, where it's at this particular restaurant. I'm gonna type it in. So went to this restaurant and ordered the eggplant parmesan. Now at this restaurant, they're infamous for people actually going into labor after they eat this. So prior to the week, whatever, I was starting to walk, and it was getting really, really hard. Like just walking around the park, whatever, it felt like you was running like a mile, like multiple miles, basically. So it was rough. So I ended up once I got to 39 weeks, I went to the restaurant, ate the eggplant parmesan, and the only thing that happened was like within 48 hours, my baby dropped. She dropped down low, and I just experienced like contractions, like just regular contractions. So probably like on Super Bowl day, I was experiencing contractions, and I was just walking around in my living room, just walking, crying, walking, crying. So my mom checked me, whatever, because she's a labor and delivery nurse. So she checked me, and I was 2 centimeters. So I was kind of like, okay, yes, like, whatever. And she was like, okay, when you go to 3 centimeters, and that means that we can go to the hospital. So I was like, okay, bet. So I had my doctor's appointment that Tuesday. So, Super Bowl Sunday and that Tuesday. So I went in Tuesday morning early. I had this intuition that told me, get the nurse gift and put it in your trunk. So that's what I did. So I already had my labor bag in my trunk already. So I was like, okay, if anything were to happen, or whatever, I'm gonna be set. So, because something just told me to put it in my car. So I went to the doctor. She asked me how I'm doing. And I told her, like, I ain't really feeling my baby. Like, my baby's doing little movement. Like, the only time that she'll move is if I just ate. So what I did, I ended up blindsided because I didn't know they were gonna be like, oh. So basically I went in there and she was like, yeah, so you know what that means? That means that it's time for baby to come out. So I'm thinking like, okay, like my due date is Friday, so I know eventually she's gonna have to come out. No, she was like, you ready to go over there now? So I'm like, wait, hold up, like now, like we're about to have the baby now. She was like, yeah, we're about to have her. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So the ladies that were at the clinic with me, they knew me because I was like one of them girls that were like always throwing up in the beginning, so they already knew. So they started praying over me because they were like, we're gonna pray that you have a great delivery or whatever. Then I went into the hospital. My mom, she worked there, whatever, so she knew everybody. So I had got a room and I felt like I was VIP or whatever because everybody had it set up, whatever. So I got into the new room that was renovated. So that was cool. And then when I got in there, of course I had to be induced. So my mom made sure that I ate something before I walked into the hospital because she was like, "You're not gonna be able to eat." So I was like, okay. So I went in there and, they started like, telling me to undress myself, and I undressed myself. Then my mom gave me my IV in my arm. And by the way, my mom delivered my baby. So yeah, so that's dope. So they gave me my IV in my arm, and just making sure I was comfortable. Like that was a big thing. Like I was comfortable. So I had little contractions, but it wasn't like excruciating. It was like more so the ones I can take. So I was really cool. So then they decided that they wanted to do a, a Foley bulb, whatever, which is where they put balloons in your cervix. So you have one in front and one in the back, and they blow it up. Okay, so let me just tell y'all that was like the worst part of my whole entire delivery. It was the Foley bulb, because that thing stretches you all the way open, and then the balloon falls out your vagina. So that was crazy. And it literally did. So I called my baby's father, and I told him to come up to the hospital, and he came to the hospital whatever real quick. And then my dad came because I had my mom, my dad, and my the baby's father in the delivery room. So those are 3 people I had because I didn't want everybody and their mama in the room with me. So then my nurse was my auntie. So yeah, that was cool too. So they all was just tag teaming, and everything was like cool because I felt real comfortable about it. So then I had my mom's friends that she used to work with. They were all coming in the room and stuff, wishing me well, praying with me, and etc. whatever. So when I got to 4, I started like, feeling even more contractions. And I was just like, hurting, whatever. Like the contractions felt like cramps, but not. And it wasn't excruciating like everybody was saying, like it's excruciating, but it was very, very painful because you have to like breathe through them. It was painful. I wouldn't like say that it's like something that you would never go through again, but it was painful down there, like having the cramps, whatever, like the contractions, whatever, they were painful. So right when I got to 4, I felt like since I'm feeling like this at 4 and I have to get all the way to 10, I'm not gonna be breathing through all these like times. So I ended up getting the epidural, and I wanted to get it right before I was like in excruciating pain because they said it was gonna take 30 minutes before the anesthesia guy can come in to do it. So that was false because guess what? It ended up being like 5 minutes. So I got my epidural, and when I tell you, it did not feel like a bee sting. It just felt like a shot in your back. And you can feel like the liquid going into your back, like it goes from that way and that way. So it was spurged down, whatever, you can feel it. But you have to be really still. So I had my mom be in the room with me, and I held her hand, whatever, and we was cool. So after I got my epidural, it kicked in and like slowly went from like not feeling nothing. Okay. So I didn't feel a thing. So after I got my epidural, you know what I did? I slept. So I slept and slept and slept until I got to 10 centimeters. And it was just crazy because my mom woke me up and she was like, the whole time my mom was flipping me. She was using the peanut ball. She was doing everything to get me through. So mind you, I went into the hospital at like around like 12 p.m. and I got to 10 centimeters at like, I want to say like 3 a.m. And then when I woke up, whatever, I experienced throwing up. Like I was throwing up like crazy. My body was shaking like crazy. I was so cold. It was like that little minor little period. Like I was shaking, throwing up in the thing. I just kept throwing up. Then Like, it was just crazy. Everything was just kind of like, woof. And then when 4 o'clock came, I was getting nervous because my baby's father was sleeping, whatever, in the thing, whatever. So, he had came in just in time because he was about to miss the delivery. But I guess he came in right on time, whatever. I guess something told him to get up, whatever. So he came in the door and they were all prepping to like make me push out the baby. And so, he had one leg and my mom, and I don't know who else had the other leg, but I was pushing whatever they told me to push, whatever. So when the first time I pushed, my mom was just like, if you push whatever this time, you have to really push, because if you don't really push on this next time, then we're not gonna be able to do it. Like, I didn't know what she meant by that, so I was kind of like, what? So I pushed with all my might, and then like my baby's father told me to like put my chin down and like really like put my chin down and push whatever, and I did it. And then like they just kept encouraging me, and then like boom, she popped out. And I didn't really know how to push, because you got to think about it. I'm not feeling anything down there. You don't feel nothing. So you have to think in your mind, like, okay, how do you push, or am I pushing? Because you can't feel nothing. So I just did that, and she came out and they put her on my chest, and I kind of was just like in shock the whole time. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't emotional. I wasn't like none of how I thought I was gonna be. My baby's father was crying, of course, but I definitely didn't. And then my sister, I was happy because they got her on FaceTime, so she was seeing like me push her out and stuff. So I really felt like she was in the room, because I really wanted my sister in the room, but she couldn't come due to it being so sudden and in the middle of the week. So yeah, that happened, and she came. A baby girl was an arrival, and she came out so cute, head full of hair, all that. She was so tiny. So she was 6 pounds and 3 ounces. So that was good. But yeah, that's just the gist of my delivery and how it went down. And of course, after I delivered, I got to go straight upstairs, and I had a beautiful breakfast waiting for me. So that was cool. And then my parents, they left right after that. Like, out come the baby. All right, we done. So, but they had been up for like 24 hours, so I understood. But yeah, so that's the gist of my delivery and how everything went down. You can comment if you have any questions. I'm going to do another delivery of like post life and what it was like, and etc., like what it's been like for my whole month, whatever. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment.